What is good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. Is back again with another video, man. Now, before we get this video started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Feel like I ain't been here in a minute, man. How's everybody doing? So, y'all see the title of this video. So, y'all know that there has been a lot of moves made within the coaching circuit. Like, there's been we have a lot of new coaches in the HBCU football circuit. So I came up with a list of, of who I believe will have the most success year one. And I have 5, maybe even 6. I actually have 6 people in the top 5. 2 at number 5. So we're gonna get to that in a minute, man. But how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Football is damn near here already. We have less than a month. We have a week 0 game the last Saturday of the month, man. So I'm absolutely excited, man. But let me get on to the list, man. So at number 5, I have 2 people. And I have 2 people because I'm absolutely torn with these 2. So I have Reggie Barlow, who's at Tennessee State, and I have Sean Gibbs, who's at North Carolina A&T. Now, we all know about Sean Gibbs, who recently came from Fort Valley State, but he was at A&T once before. And he's kind of listed as like a running back guru, so you say. Like the majority of the backs that he's coached throughout the years, most of them went out to go pro or had really, really good years. Like I'm talking about over 1,000-yard type seasons or whatever, right? So, now, I know he's entering a situation where A&T has looked the absolute worst within these past 2 seasons. I don't know what the hell that was. And, so obviously A&T had no choice but to clean house. So A&T is coming into this season with a clean slate, and hopefully Sean Gibbs gives them, enough confidence to where, listen, and the alumni was there. I've said this before. The football some of the players who played with Sean Gibbs when he was there the first time, they backed him up. He was there when they were winning championships. So hopefully he'll be able to bring that feeling back with A&T. And I believe that A&T will be a better team just because they can't get no worse than the last 2 years. They were last in everything, offensively and defensively. They were just not good. They were bad to watch. And even though they have quote unquote sold out homecomings, they put on bad showings. I don't know what it was, but it was absolutely bad to watch. But we'll see what Sean Gibbs does with this team. And hopefully, I don't know what the quarterback room looks like. I kind of do, because y'all know we've been covering players who's been going into A&T. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what this roster looks like going into 2025. But I can't wait to see it. And y'all know, listen, now the reason why I'm torn with these 2 is because they played against each other week 1. I don't know if that's going to tell the story of what I believe both these teams are going to look like after this season's over with, but it's going to be very interesting. But for Reggie Barlow, now, y'all know Reggie Barlow, I think his last coaching gig before going into Tennessee State, I think he was coaching at the UFL, coached at the XFL. Then, before that, he was coaching at Virginia State for, I think, 5 or 6 years. He has a CIAA championship. He's been CIAA Coach of the Year. And I think before that, he coached at Alabama State. He does have some NFL experience playing under his belt, so that's real good for him as well. So now Tennessee State, he's not necessarily inheriting the same Tennessee State team from last year. This team is going to be completely different. And for me, if I was doing, because y'all seen the top 10 list of the teams heading into 2025, and they have Tennessee State at number 7, I'll be honest with y'all. I think that's too high. Me personally, I know what they did last year, but y'all gotta understand something. This team is gonna look totally different. I mean, way different. Like, the moment Eddie George left, you gotta understand something. They didn't find their new head coach until March. Eddie George left in March, so spring training, spring camp was already in place, and they were past the National Signing Day period. So I think that is a little too late, because Reggie Barlow didn't even get in his bag when it came to recruiting. Like, he did everything late. So I just think it's gonna be, he's in a very, very interesting spot. So I do believe Tennessee State, hopefully they'll be a good team. I don't think they'll be good as they were last year. That's why I think that Tennessee State is ranked just a little too high for me personally. I'll still probably have them at 9 or 10, maybe, just because it's just the unknown. So we're probably just going off of last year, so we want to give them that benefit of the doubt. But we do know that this team's going to be completely different from a year ago. But I can't wait to see what A&T and Tennessee State look like, because they are playing against each other week 1. And Tennessee State has a very interesting first 2 games. So they play A&T at home, they play North Dakota State at home, and they play Alabama A&M at home. So they have, I think it's at home, I'm not sure, but those 3 games right there, very interesting to watch, and I can't wait to see that game right there. Now, at 3 and 4, I'm going to talk about together, because both of these guys came in around the same time. So at 4, I have Deshaun Jackson. Number 3, I got Mike Vick. Now, both these guys at one point in their careers were stars on their team. They were both teammates at one point, coming in with a lot of cachet on the NFL side, potential Hall of Famers. And so these guys, off of NFL rep alone, will get them the amount of recruits that they've been getting. They've been getting a lot of good recruits. They did real good at recruiting, both of these guys. Now, the problem in which they will probably run into is that not only do both of these guys have little to no coaching experience, but a lot of guys on their coaching staff have little to no coaching experience. And that's where they're going to run into a hard time, because you do have to deal with North Carolina Central. You got to deal with South Carolina State. And those 2 teams right there are the cream of the crop when it comes to the MEAC in 2025. In terms of recent memory, of course. But listen, I think both of these guys recruited very well. And the most important thing that they did was they both got really good quarterbacks. Israel Carter for Norfolk State, and I forget the other guy, but they just recruited him from Sacramento State. But as of recently, both of these guys are gonna come in with a really good team. So for the sole purpose, because they both have quarterbacks that are gonna be able to compete in the MEAC this year. So, and henceforth, why both of them are gonna play against each other at Lincoln Memorial, which is the Eagles football stadium. So, listen, I think Norfolk State and Delaware State are gonna be they're gonna be an exciting team to watch, just because of the amount of recruiting that both of these teams did. For the sole purpose of both of these guys have a lot of NFL cachet, and they're gonna be able to teach the kids that they have, this is where you can be if you do X, Y, and Z. So I do like both of these guys, but I do have, listen, now if y'all been paying attention, y'all know that I do like Norfolk State team slightly better. And plus they have King at running back, in which he's probably going to be the best running back in the MEAC. So Norfolk State do have some solid players returning. So that's what I'm banking on. And listen, they got half of Hampton recruits over to Norfolk State. So, like I said, I think Norfolk State did a real good job of recruiting. Delaware State as well. But I do like Norfolk State team slightly better than Delaware State team. But both of these guys are going to come in with some good teams. So hopefully they'll be able to compete in the MEAC. And we'll see what happens. And number 2, I have Sam Shade for Alabama A&M. Now, y'all know he's coming in from Miles College. I think he coached there for 3 seasons. I think he was 18 and 15. Now, y'all know year one. Now, the 18 and 15 part comes from his first year being there, in which I think they were 1-9 his first year there. His second year, not only do they have a much better season, but they end up beating Alabama State for the first time in school history. I think they went 7-4 that year. And then this past season, not only did they win the SIAC championship, they also won a playoff game. And they went up against Valdosta State team that made it to the national championship game. And was very competitive in that game up until late. But Sam Shade does have a solid team around him, especially with them having Cornelius Brown coming back. Now, it's sad that they did have Higgins, who the quarterback transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff. For some strange reason, he is not on the roster anymore, but due to grades. But I don't know why they found that out so late. So, but hopefully Cornelius Brown, listen, I'm not gonna hold you. If I did a preseason top 10, I would not be shocked at myself putting Alabama. I would take out Tennessee State and put in Alabama A&M at number 10. Just because I do think offensively, I do believe that Alabama A&M is going to be, I think this team is going to be a sleeper. And of course, when you have a good coach that is going to a D1 school, the players that was playing with that coach, they're going to want to transfer with him. So that's exactly what happened in this situation as well. You got quite a few players who played at Miles who transferred to Alabama A&M. I think Alabama A&M is going to have a real good, solid team. I do believe that they are going to have one of the better offenses in the SWAC. Starting with, listen, like I said, if you have, as long as you have a quarterback that is able to compete in football, period, you're gonna always have a chance. So I do believe in Cornelius Brown. I do believe that he can have a solid year. They do have solid receivers as well. So I do believe that this Alabama A&M team offensively can be very, really good. So we'll see what happens, man. But I got Sam Shade, number 2. Y'all know this has been one of my most talked about teams coming into this year, man. And y'all know I got Tremaine Jackson. Tremaine Jackson is coming in with a really good coaching resume, even to recent memory, with him just coming off of a Division II national championship berth. Now, even though they got smacked in that game, the fact that he made it was impressive enough. And, he coached at Valdosta State for 3 years. I think he was 30-8, if I'm not mistaken. He was 30-8. I think he's been a head coach for 5 years. He's 40-10 throughout his 5 years of coaching, of being a head coach so far. And with him leaving Valdosta State, not only did he bring some of the players with him, he brought the offense and defensive coordinator with him. See, the difference between what Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick are coming into the MEAC with and what Tremaine Jackson is coming into the SWAC with is dramatically different. Not only does Tremaine Jackson have the years of coaching, but he also is bringing in the coordinators and the other assistant coaches that have years and years of coaching experience. So I do believe this Prairie A&M team is going to be a really sneaky team. Now, the only reason why Sam Shade and Tremaine Jackson are where I put him at is because Prairie A&M is in the West Division and A&M is in the East Division. Y'all know A&M has to see Jackson State, and they got to see FAMU, and they got to see Alabama State. If both of these coaches were switched, I think I'll have Sam Shade at 1 and Tremaine at 2. But I do believe that this Prairie A&M team can be not only sneaky good, they could potentially win the West. Potentially. Now, they still have to deal with Southern, but their first game, of course, their first game of the year is always a test. They're going up against Texas Southern game 1. So I do believe that could tell where their season may go. But the one problem that I'm having, though, is who their quarterback is going to be. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know about Cam Peters, and I haven't seen a whole lot of Lucas Cooley. Or Cooley Lucas, however you say the name. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the quarterback for Prairie A&M is going to be. And they do have to replace a lot of their weapons on offense. Their top 4 receivers are gone. And their top 3 or 4 tacklers on defense is gone as well. So they do have a lot that they do have to replace. But from what they did in recruiting, like I said, I like what Tremaine Jackson did in recruiting in this entire offseason. So that's why I give him the nod at number 1. Not only based off of what he did at recruiting, but who he is as a coach heading into Prairie A&M. So I really do like what Tremaine Jackson has done, and I do believe he will have the most success year 1 in terms of the new crop of head coaches that came into the HBCU football space. But that's my top 5 or top 6 list, however y'all want to put it, man. But listen, shout out to Coach Buckley at Valley State. Hopefully he does well. I didn't want to leave him out, but I hope he definitely does do well, man. Like I said, I can't wait for this year, man. I absolutely can't wait, and hopefully we'll be able to drop some more videos within the next coming days or so. But listen, holla at y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for watching, man. We out.